You're blind, baby. You're blind from the facts on who you are because you're watching that garbage.
From the world-famous Blackbird Studios, it's the Rave X podcast. And now, Rave X.
T-Money, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rave X, and this is the Rave X podcast. Now, there's not a lot going on today or this week. It's kind of a cloudy, dreary day up here at the Blackbird Studios. So I figured, why not do a podcast and have just a little bit of story time? Story time with Uncle Rave. So this story takes place years and years ago when I lived in a little town called Jacksonville, Florida. So, I entered an ad to join a band. Well, it was a guy who played drums and he was starting a band and he needed a guitar player. So I answered the ad. Now, around this time, an old close personal friend of mine came up to visit me. So I said, hey, why don't you come with me to check out this drummer? He lives on the west side of Jacksonville. Sounds like a good guy. It's not that far away. And we'll see how it works out, you know. Maybe we'll start a band. Who knows? So we pack up the gear into his truck and we leave his girlfriend at home with my girlfriend. Now, I always thought they were kind of dyking it out when we're not there. Guys, am I right? But anyway, I digress. So we hop in the car with the equipment and we head down to this guy's house. And it really wasn't too far, but I'm starting to realize the closer we get to the address, that we're starting to get into trailer park territory, man. Now, a lot of places in the South, especially Jacksonville, Florida, there's a lot of trailer parks. And that doesn't make them bad people, but I feel like you kind of know what you're in for, right? So we pull up, and this guy comes out of a double-wide trailer, and he's not wearing a shirt, and he's covered in, what could only be described as prison tattoos, right? They've got to be prison tattoos. And he looks at us, and we look at him, and I've got a bad feeling about this. And he looks at us, and he goes, hey, man, how y'all doing, man? Come on in. We've been waiting for you. And I'm just like, what did I just get myself into? But in for a penny, in for a pound. So I decide, unload the stuff, and we're going to go in, and we're going to jam and see how this goes, right? So we go in. He's all smiles, man. He's missing a couple of teeth on the side, shaved head, white guy. Looks like he probably does construction out in the sun too much, right? He's kind of red, sunburned. And then we go into his double-wide trailer, and it's not too bad looking, you know, and there's like a living room and a couch and some, carpet that's coming up. And he's got a drum set kind of halfway set up, you know, and he goes, hey, man, I'm Daryl. You can set up your stuff over there, man. We're going to rock, man. This is going to be awesome. We're going to rock. And I look over, and his wife's there, and his wife looks like what could only be described as a woman who has gotten beaten before. And I don't say that lightly. She just looks like she's scared. She doesn't know how the evening's going to go. It could go good. It could go bad. She looks like she's been through this before, you know? And she introduces herself, and she asks us, hey, do you want something to drink? I'll get you something to drink. And we're like, no, we're all set. So me and my buddy, he sits down, lights up a cigarette, because his ashtray is filled with cigarettes. We figured it was okay. I set up my amp near his drum set, and then what happens next is he can't find pieces to his drum set, right? So he starts yelling to his wife, hey, honey, where's my drum key? And she's like, oh, I don't know where your drum key is. And I know she's thinking, please don't hit me, right? So he says to me, hold on for a second, man, I'm going to go get my drum key. He's gone for, 10, 15 minutes. I'm looking at my buddy like, what the fuck is about to happen right now? He comes back, he starts tuning and tweaking his drums. He looks at the drums and he goes, oh, man, I don't got my good cymbal. Honey, where's my good cymbal? And she doesn't know where any of his shit is. He probably pawned it for meth, I'm assuming. So anyway, this is like a half an hour into it where I'm just kind of setting up my stuff, warming up, playing a few licks. And he stops to listen to me play a few licks and he goes, damn, honey, this guy can play. Now, I was surprised he didn't say this nigga could play because I thought he was, the N-word was coming at some point. And she goes, I know, right? Listen to him. And so he starts setting up his drums and I don't know, he's like drunk at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon trying to set up a fucking 8-piece Tama drum set. And he's getting everything together. Finally, like I said, after about half an hour, he's got the drum set set up to his liking. So he gets behind the kit. He just starts hitting every drum he can possibly hit. And after a while, I realize, okay, this guy's drunk and on some other type of drug. His wife looked like she was tweaked out, like her eyes, like her pupils were real big, right? And that usually happens when someone's kind of tweaked out. So I'm like, hey, man, what do you want to play? And he's like, I don't know. What? I'll play anything. What do you want to play? And I'm like, well, name something, man. I know a bunch of stuff. He goes, all right, ready? Man in the Box, Alice in Chains. And I'm thinking, thank God I know that song, because if I didn't know that song, I really don't know what was about to happen. So anyway, we start jamming on Alice in Chains' Man in the Box, and it's actually going pretty good. I mean, he's not a bad drummer, but like I said, man, he's kind of shit-faced hammered, and I'm kind of like trying to follow him, but he keeps missing the changes, and then he just goes into like a drum solo for no reason. And then he stops and he goes, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I messed up. Let's do it again. Start from the beginning. Let's do it again." And he's getting kind of forceful now, right? Like, he's not asking me to start over and do it again. Like, he's commanding me, like, "Start again, man, start again." I said, "Start again." And I'm like, okay. And I look over at my buddy, and my buddy's giving me the look like, "I don't know, man." And his wife says, "Oh, honey, you know what you need? You need some coffee to sober up a little bit, sweetie. That's what you need." He goes, yeah, that's what I need. I need some coffee. I'm going to get some coffee. Y'all want some coffee? And we're like, "Nah, we got water. We're all set." Okay. He has a cup of coffee, gets back behind the kit. You know anything from System of a Down? And I said, yeah, I know, that song off of Toxicity. You want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. And he looks over at his wife, and he's like, "Honey, this is going to be good. This boy can play. This is going to be good." And I'm just, oh, my God, right? So I start playing it, and he comes in. He comes in a little late, but like I said, he's fucking shit-faced at 1 p.m. And we start playing, and it's going good, and then he's, messing up and shit, and I stop, and he's like, no, don't stop, man. Don't stop. I got it. Long story short, the whole thing is getting really tense. So I go, "Hey, let's just jam on anything. I'll just play a couple of riffs, you just play." And he goes, "That's a good idea, man." And it's going okay, but he's not a great drummer. It becomes apparent to me very quickly that maybe if he was sober, he'd be a good drummer, but he's just not a good drummer now. So, his wife has this crazy look on her face. My buddy's getting real nervous. My buddy actually steps outside to just, maybe he thought that would calm things down a little bit if he wasn't there. And his wife takes off to the kitchen. So it's just me and this guy. I don't even remember his name, to tell you the truth. And we're jamming and trying to make something work. And then he goes, "Hey, man, you know what? My buddy Steve, he plays guitar too. Let me call Steve over." He goes over. He picks up the phone and he calls someone. And I hear him on the phone while I'm tuning my guitar. And he goes, "Man, I got this cat from Boston. Man, he down here. Man, this guy, he kick ass on guitar. You got to come hear him." Hangs up the phone. Within like 6 minutes, a big white souped up F-150 pulls up with like a gun rack on the back and all this shit. This big ass 350-pound shaved head guy looks like a bouncer at a horrible club that you would never want to go to, right? He walks in and he looks like the guy I'm jamming with, but bigger, with this big huge thick neck fucking redneck motherfucker. And he's covered in tattoos, like neck tattoos, and he might have had a tattoo on the side of his head or some shit. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? My name's Steve." And I'm like, "Hey, my name's Rave." Now I think, well, if shit goes south, I don't know if I can fight my way out of this. One drunk redneck who's about my size, I think I can take. You guys know your boy Rave's a kung fu master, right? And I'm thinking it's me and my buddy against this guy and his big 300-pound buddy who just got out of prison. And who knows if his wife is going to jump on our back and hit us with pots and pans. And I'm trying to think as to what's about to happen, because this shit could go sideways at any fucking second, man. And he's like, "All right, man, go ahead, play." We start playing. His big jacked up friend's like, "Damn, man, you fucking good guitar player. I didn't know y'all boys from Boston, a good guitar player." And his drunk drummer friend goes like, "I told you, man, I told you." And I'm just standing there like, oh my God. The only thing that this double wide trailer was missing was a Confederate flag. I'm sure there was like a Klan hood someplace, under the seat cushion that they hid at the last minute when they saw that I wasn't a white guy. So we start rocking and everything's going good. And then he stops again and he's like, Honey, where's my other tom? I used to have another tom for this." And she's like, "I don't know where your other tom is." And I'm going, oh my God, dude, we don't need. He's like, "Nah, man, I'm going to show you. I'm going to get my other tom." And he goes in the other room and he starts going through stuff. He brings out this ratty old tom and tries to connect it. And now he can't find his drum key. The whole thing is, oh my God, guys, when I tell you a fucked up situation, and I'm like trapped. And his buddy, his big 350-pound buddy, is standing right by the door. So I start thinking, okay, if I have to, I can use this guitar to block. Also, I can take this guitar off and I could swing this guitar or stab at them with this guitar. Maybe that will buy me some time. I'm hoping my buddy would just run out, get the car started. But I also realize that I'm probably going to lose my amp. I'm probably not going to be able to take my amp with me if this shit goes south. So he gets the tom, he puts the tom on, he starts doing a bunch of fills, and he's playing real fucking loud. So long story short, after about an hour, we actually end up kind of rocking a little bit, right? And his buddy's into it. My buddy's like, "Hey, this is sounding pretty good." his wife's like, damn, you guys are kicking ass, man. We stopped to take a smoke break. We're talking about the type of music, and he's naming some bands, and I'm pretty sure one of them was Screwdriver, which is like a neo-Nazi white supremacist band that he said was like one of his favorite bands, and I'm like, I can't do this, but I'm thinking I can't just pack up my stuff, say, hey, thanks for the memories, and take off, because he's probably going to get aggressive, and he was already aggressive, man. So we rock a little bit more, and I'm already checked out, man. I'm just trying to, like, appease these two, like, hillbilly rednecks. I don't know if they were racist. I mean, look, if they were racist, they probably wouldn't let me in the house, I'm assuming. They would just, they were good old boys from Jacksonville, man. So we start rocking, and I rock just enough to kind of calm them down, and everything's cool, and I go, well, hey, man, you know what? This was fucking cool, dude. We should definitely keep in touch and start a band. He's like, I know, man. I told you I was a good drummer. You know what? I had a little bit to drink today, man. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, I mean, I was kind of nervous, so I started drinking. But, you know, we should jam again when I'm not kind of drunk. You know what I mean? Maybe we smoke some pot or something like that, smoke some grass. And I'm going, yeah, dude, let's do that. And I start gathering up my stuff, and him and his buddy are just staring at me, and I'm like, holy shit. You know what I thought was going to happen, guys? Remember that scene in Pulp Fiction where they take Bruce Willis and Marcellus Wallace and they got him in the basement with the ball gag in their mouth, and Zed comes down and he's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick a nigger by the toe. I just pictured that, guys, honestly. I pictured me and my buddy in the back room with ball gags in our mouth. So I'm gathering up my shit real fast to get the fuck out of there. And then finally, you know, he lets us leave. I thought he was going to stop me, you know, but he doesn't. We pack up the stuff, we leave. He follows us outside to the car. And while I'm loading up my amp and my guitar, he's standing like really, really close to me. And he's like, all right, man, real good to meet you, man. I got your number, man. You call me. I said, hey, all right, man, you got it. Bye. We hop in the car. We back up out of the fucking driveway. And me and my buddy look at each other like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened, dude? And I'm like, don't look back. Just drive, bro. Just drive. So we drive. We get back home. His girlfriend and my girlfriend are just there on the couch. And from what I heard, his girlfriend didn't really say a word. And it was kind of, I guess, my girlfriend and her got stoned or whatever and just sat there quietly. So no diking it out for them. But anyway, we survived. We got back. And long story short, about a day later, he actually calls me and he's like, hey, man, I know that wasn't a good performance. I'm sorry. You know, like I said, I had too much to drink that day, but you should call me. We should get back together. And, you know, I never called him back. It wasn't worth it. You know, this is one of these guys that even if I started a band with him, he'd probably end up in jail and we'd have to cancel all our gigs. And he actually called me a few times later saying, hey, man, I don't know why you're not getting back to me. I thought we hit it off, man. I thought we were rocking. And that was the last I heard of the drunk redneck. But hey, man, what are you going to do? Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me, man. My name's Rave X. This is the Rave X podcast. Yeah, man, story edition with Uncle Rave. Do me a favor, kids. Remember this. None of us are as smart as all of us. My name's Rave X, and I'm out of here.
That was the Rave X 10-minute podcast. Be sure to click like and subscribe. For podcasts, new music, and all things Rave X, go to youtube.com and search Rave X Music.